Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel called for revolutionary unity to disarm attempts to destabilize the Caribbean nation by opposition groups. At least 12 people have been killed and 20 others injured when a bus carrying migrants overturned and caught fire in Turkey. Spain's new cohort of ministers have taken their oaths before King Felipe this Monday in Madrid. Hello, welcome to From the South. I am Denise Herrera from the TeleSUR studios in Quito, Ecuador. We begin with the news. Stay with us. The president of Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel, had a press conference on the measures applied to battle the COVID-19 pandemic and to address some issues about a small opposition group who tried to create destabilizing actions. After the president explained that the vaccination program in Cuba is progressing smoothly, he ratified that the revolutionary population should not echo some behaviors that goes against the interests of the Cuban people. This was part of his visit to the city of San Antonio de los Baños, where the opposition tried to create instability. Díaz-Canel called for revolutionary unity and to remain active in the streets to fight U.S. interference that is taking advantage of the pandemic situation and the tightening of the blockade against the island nation.
We separate the revolutionaries who may be confused. We separate the inhabitants of Cuba who may have certain concerns. But we are not going to admit that any counter-revolutionary, mercenary, sold out to the government of the United States, sold out to the empire, receiving money from the agencies, allowing themselves to be carried away by all these strategies of ideological subversion. We are not going to allow them to provoke destabilization in our people. And there will be a revolutionary response. And that is why we are also here calling on all the revolutionaries of the country, all the communists, to go out to the streets, to any of the places where these provocations are going to take place, today and in all these days, and to confront them with decision, with firmness, with courage.
Once Cuban President Manuel Díaz-Canel called the revolutionaries to see the streets hundreds file downtown Havana to chase away groups that have gathered to stage protests against the revolution, mostly middle-class youngsters who were contacted via social networks. They were quickly outnumbered without violence, but with clear determination. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, showed evidence of the presence of Colombian paramilitary members in the area of the capital, Caracas, where the security deployment by the forces of the law and order took place. The Venezuelan head of state said that more than 20 paramilitary members from the Colombian were found in the Cota 905 sector of the city of Caracas, who serve as a trainer of criminals for the execution of terrorist actions with the aim of destabilizing the nation.
Out of the people captured, there are 3 Colombian paramilitary members. And the statements of the criminals captured from Cota 905 says that there were more than 20 Colombian paramilitary members who had months training the criminals in terrorist actions, sniper training, and in various tactics to fill the Venezuelan population with violence and terror. Their goal was to terrorize the civilian population.
Argentina has become the country with the highest number of doses of coronavirus vaccines applied per 100 inhabitants in the last week. The Argentina mass vaccination program surpasses this weekend those of Italy, France, China and Germany, which have figures between 86 and 76 doses per 100 inhabitants. The Minister of Health indicated that more than 34.3 million people had been vaccinated against COVID-19. The vaccination rate in Argentina was increased thanks to the massive arrival of jabs from Russia and China. In In Haiti, interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph asked the country's political actors to unite in order to advance with the assassination investigations.
It is not something that can go unpunished. Now I thought that all the political actors must get together to plan, to move forward, because us in the government, our main concern is justice. No one can stop what we are doing.
Security forces in Haiti announced this Saturday the capture of a new mercenary in Colombian origin. 20 have already been arrested involving the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. According to authorities, the search continues for 5 more fugitive mercenaries implicated in the assassination of the president. According to figures of the 20 arrested so far, 8 are Colombian origin and 2 are U.S. citizens in Haitian origin. The Haitian National Police urged the public to collaborate with the security forces in order to find the rest of those implicated. According to results of the preliminary investigation, a total of 28 people were part of the armed commando to assassinate President Moïse on July 7. In the last few hours, it became known that the Colombian businessman Alfred Santamaria, a friend of President Iván Duque, is a partner of the Venezuelan businessman who hired the Colombian mercenaries who assassinated President Moïse. Alfred Santamaria, a Colombian who resides in Miami, is the partner of Antonio Intriago, the Venezuelan businessman related to opposition leader Juan Guaidó, who is the owner of the company Security Trust, which all the mercenaries who participated in the assassination of the president were hired. Santamaria visited in March of this year the Nariño Palace, the headquarters of the Colombian executive, in addition to Tony Intriago and President Iván Duque. The businessman has also shared with the anti-Castro activist Ileana Roseltinen. We'll take a short break now. Welcome back. At least 12 people have been killed and 20 others injured when a bus carrying migrants overturned and caught fire in eastern Turkey. The bus is reported to have trammed into a ditch while traveling overnight near Bank province, which borders Iran. The migrants who travel through the route usually come from Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, crossing into Turkey on foot. Before boarding buses, the cities such as Istanbul and Ankara. Hospitals in Myanmar are faced with a serious shortage of oxygen as the country struggles to cope with increasing cases of the COVID-19 virus. Relatives of COVID-19 victims are seen in long queues trying to secure the oxygen needed by patients. The surge in COVID-19 cases has been worsened by ongoing protests against the recent military taking over, which were also joined by health practitioners. The country's health minister on Saturday reported a record of 4,000 new confirmed cases and 71 deaths. Despite a spike in COVID-19 cases in Myanmar, protesters against the military takeover have continued gathering in the streets, calling for the military leaders to step down. Dozens of protesters marched in the city of Yangon, chanting anti-military slogan and setting on fire the Myanmar Armed Forces flag. Resistance to military rule has continued for the past 5 months after civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi was removed from power on February 1. Afghan authorities have pledged to take charge of the Taliban siege, assuring that its army has in the past days made some progress in defeating Taliban fighters. The Afghan military made an announcement that it has installed in the anti-missile system Kabul's airports to counter incoming rockets, and they claim to have killed dozens of Taliban fighters. In recent days, Taliban military increased their offensive across the country since early May, when the final U.S. troops began leaving Afghanistan.
Our foreign friends have given us the system. It has a very complicated technology. For now, our foreign friends are operating it while we are trying to build the capacity to use it. This is the information that we collected since last Wednesday. Our security and defense forces have recently carried out of a total of 124 airstrikes in 25 provinces, resulting in 1,177 Taliban insurgents being killed and 651 wounded.
Countries have started evacuating their diplomats from war zones of Afghanistan, and Taliban fighters continue gaining more ground. Despite information by government officials that they are in control of the situation, some countries, including India and China, have already started pulling out and closing their consulates. China has issued a statement blaming the United States from the ongoing security crisis in Afghanistan and accused the U.S. of dumping the war it started on Afghan people. And meanwhile, Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani has called a Taliban fighter stop the site.
Let's ask a couple of questions to the Taliban. First, who are you fighting for? Are you fighting for Afghanistan, or you want Afghanistan to be under control of others? If you love Afghanistan, promise me that you have not accepted the Durand Line. Promise me that you will not change Afghanistan from a crossroads to one-way road. Promise me that you will not sell Afghanistan's water to others. Promise me that you will not save other people.
Well, take a short break now. Welcome back. Spain's new cohort of ministers have taken their oaths before King Felipe this Monday in the Palacio de la Zarzuela in Madrid. They will hold their first meeting in a Moncloa. Some of 63% of the cabinet is now controlled by women, making Spain's Council of Ministers the most representative in Europe. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has carried out a sweeping cabinet reshuffle, replacing some of his most important ministers. Sanchez unveiled the change on Saturday, saying that the new government will focus on Spain's economic recovery and holding up his new teams as a global example of gender equality. Polls have closed in Bulgarian parliamentary elections, and according to the exit poll, no clear winner has yet emerged. Political uncertainty is likely to continue after an exit poll indicated the center-right game party under former Prime Minister Boyko Borisov neck and neck with its main rival. In such a people party, the election has been characterized by voter apathy. The country's Central Elections Commission said voter turnout was around 30% by 5 p.m., almost 10% less than in previous elections. Bulgaria went to the polls for the second time in the month after no winner emerged in the first round.
I want to thank all the Bulgarian citizens who vote for us, whatever the result of the election is, first, very first, second. It is an achievement for us, because we have this result after at least 2 months of trying to harness the entire resource of the state against us. The government, the Interior Ministry, the services did their best to make us perform worse in the elections.
Ballot counting has started in Moldova's snap parliamentary elections. Ballot counting is underway in the country's most constituent districts. Preliminary results have indicated that the President Myanmar Sandu's pro-European Actions and Solidarity Party was leading. A report released by the country's electoral commission said that from the 40% of ballots counted so far, the party was leading by more than 44% of the votes. The Paris-Man's rival from the coalition of socialists and communists had nearly 33% of the votes, as vote counting continues. Residents of the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa say they hope Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government can ensure peace and economic stability after his electoral victory. Ethiopia's ruling party won a landslide in a landmark parliamentary poll result showed Saturday, ensuring a new 5-year term for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, despite a brutal war in the northern region of Tigray. The winner of the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize had hoped the firm victory at the ballot box as a mandate for political and economic reforms and military operations. His Prosperity Party won 4,000 seats in the federal parliament out of 400 where elections were held.
The election was held at a time when there are many agendas in our country and where there are many complex domestic and foreign problems. However, compared to the pressure, I would say it is a successful election.
For now on, we expect the winning party to put things into practice. We want the cost of living to decrease. There are many things that they need to improve, and we want them to work on those things.
Ivory Coast's two former rival presidents, Laurent Gbagbo and Henry Bebdi, have met for reconciliation talks a month after Gbagbo returned to the country. Gbagbo and Bebdi have agreed to form a coalition that will challenge the incumbent President Alassane Ouattara. The two rival leaders met following President Gbagbo's return to the homeland as a free man after being acquitted by the International Criminal Court on crimes against humanitarian charge. Gbagbo was arrested in April 2011 and was acquitted in January 2019.
This act of mine to meet Henry Bedi is an act of reconciliation and acknowledgement. When we speak of reconciling, it's all of that. Reconciliation is all of that. Respect the text and respect human beings.
South African police have arrested more than 60 people in connection with violence which erupted after the incarceration of former President Jacob Zuma. In a statement, the police said they arrested 37 people in the eastern province of KwaZulu-Natal and 25 in Johannesburg over the previous 2 days. The protest, which started with the former president, was sentenced to 15 months in jail for contempt of court, have since escalated into vandalism and looting, which has been attributed to economic desperation due to COVID-19 restrictions.
We don't know yet what is the strike it's all about. It's what we know. All the shops have been looted, the cars have been looted, so we don't know much of what is behind that, what has been causing that. But from people that have been saying it's something that is related with our former president. Because as you see, we're living near the hostels here. So most of the Zulu guys are in support of the former president.
We have come to the end of this new brief. You can find this and many other stories on our website, TeleSUR English. And join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For TeleSUR English, I am Denise Herrera. Thank you for watching.